for the free Coast Zone newsletter. It's an e-newsletter. Take advantage of that, too, by also going to coasttocoastam.com. Register for that, and that's delivered to your computer doorstep every morning. Ed, tell me about how you began to think about the UFO wars. What did you start seeing up there?
Well, the first thing that I saw about battling wasn't the first time I saw a craft. I saw a craft first when I was 10, 12 years old on Mount Santa Helena above Calistoga in the Napa Valley.
All right.
And they appeared and seemed friendly, and when I waved, one wobbled back, and then away they went. But in 1961, in the Sierras, on a Thursday night, before deer season, we were in a hunting camp getting things ready, went to sleep, stretched, looked up in my sleeping bag, and there they were, like crystals flying around up there, massive amounts of them, and they were firing on each other, and they were circling and chasing. It was a crystal clear night. Everything was so beautiful, and there was a war going on, and I'm going, oh, my God. So I woke everybody up in the camp, and they watched for an hour and a half or so, and I stayed up until daylight the next morning, watching it all through the night, and realized that, is this aliens fighting against other aliens, or is it Earth fighting to keep other aliens out, or is it being done with protection, or is it a religious thing? Is this the Battle of Armageddon? Is there one angel against another angel kind of thing, and does angels not have wings? Instead, they have spacecraft, and that's our guardian angels out there protecting us. Well, I didn't know, and at 16 years old, I thought, wow, this is so great. And when I told my friends, I got laughed at and, really, really put up with a lot. In fact, I had a couple of fights over it, but...
Did you win them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I've only lost one fight out of 89, and I didn't know I was going to have it.
Oh, that's when producer Tom popped you at the event.
Yeah,
you went
right down. He Sunday punched me.
Yeah, he
and it wasn't even Sunday.
We're only kidding. Tom is not a fighter.
Yeah.
He's a lover.
No, Tom's not mean.
No, not at all. Anyway,
he might be cruel, but he's not mean.
So you're looking at these things at that age. Eventually, though, you get to the night vision goggles, and you're starting to see some very strange things.
Right. I never knew what was going on, and I never saw that battle again, even the next night. And we had told the military about it, and kind of got shot down, and went into Reno the next day and did it. And then I was 18 years old, and I had a bad experience because I used to shoot high-quality target with heavy bench rest and limited rifles.
Okay.
And a man showed up at one of my shoots and basically wanted to recruit me to be a shooter for the Dark Ops.
Really? I never knew this.
No, I don't tell it very much, but I can tell parts of the story, and I probably won't get shot for it. But anyway, they wanted me to work for them, and there's a lot more to it. And after watching me shoot and watching my scores, because in this competition, you try to shoot a 5-shot group.
Were you going to be an assassin, Ed?
They wanted me to be.
I can't see you as that.
No. If I can't eat it, I don't want to shoot it.
No, I understand. As long as it's not roadkill, right?
Not roadkill. Yeah. But the way I drive, it could happen. But anyway, that situation, we talked, and I never went for the job. And the sponsor who was my shooter, and that was a man who had developed different guns, like the 220 Swift, the 218B, and worked on the 222 Wildcat.
Okay, sure.
These are all different high-quality guns. They changed it to the 223 and used it as the military, like the M14 and that type of thing. M15s. But anyway, I got a scary reality came in at 18 years old, and that was in 1963. So there could be some connection there.
Yeah.
And I really think that to talk about it much, or who it was that talked to me, and that would put all around me in jeopardy.
Well, what compelled you to start looking with night vision goggles? Well, I mean, something must have sparked your interest.
I knew about that battle, and I knew it was true, and that what I saw wasn't a dream. And at 16, I wasn't drinking, nothing strong anyway.
Right.
And so I wanted to see them if I could find them again. And I also like outdoors and wildlife, and spend half my time in the woods, or hiking and trying to photograph a bear, or sneak up on a mountain lion and do it. Some, the things that most crazy kids would do living in the country. And I bought a pair at the gun show in Reno that was $3,900, and that was in '97. I had sold some property and had a little money in my hand, and so I bought that pair, and I figured I could see those. And if I couldn't see those, I could see animals and go motorbike riding out through the country roads, looking with your night vision glasses.
But you bought them specifically to look up into the skies.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I bought them. That was my main goal.
All right.
But I could also use them for other things. And on my way home that night, going from Reno up over Downer Summit, the highway, I think it's Highway 80, and I stopped up at the top of the summit and got the glasses out and started focusing on stars and that. And here comes one flying through down low. And I'm going, whoa. And this thing was maybe a mile above me, if at that. And then here's two, one chasing the other one, flying way up high, probably around 100 miles or 150 miles up. And they are two different shapes. And one is firing back, and you can see the beam firing back, and the other one's firing forward. And they fired a couple of times at each other, and the one from behind hit the one in front and just blew the
living daylights out of it, right?
Yeah, the living daylights out of it.
That's safer.
And it basically, I mean, it just blew that thing like a dynamite going off in the dark, or fireworks,
It's got to be a physical thing up there, Ed. I mean, they've got to be physical objects, don't you think?
Oh, they're definitely. It's not a image or an entity coming from space, appearing and disappearing, and that it's the real deal, And well, let me put it this way: as a kid, I started out running the wing and taking flying lessons on sailplanes in Calistoga. So I flew gliders.
Okay.
And then I also flew fixed-wing airplane, and a little bit of tail dragger, and a little bit of nose gear.
So you know what you're talking about.
And I've flown helicopters. So, I haven't flown any spacecraft yet, but damn, if I could get a chance.
You never know. They may come down and pick you up, Ed Grimsley.
They may give me a flying lesson, huh?
Speaking of that, that's your website, edgrimsley.com, right?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So when this is happening, and you're watching this, and you're witnessing these battles, one, I don't think they could be man-made shooting extraterrestrials. They could be man-made to man-made. Because I think we would get obliterated if we attack them. Don't you?
Well, I think so, but I think there's some that have come from a long way, and they may be trying to get into Earth, and there are others that are already here stopping them. That's one scenario there.
E.T. stopping them, or humans?
E.T. to E.T.
Okay.
And I think that maybe there's an intensity going on, and I think E.T. or humanoid-like beings that are on our side or part of our heritage are standing up for us and protecting us, and they're kind of guarding the nest. And I think we've been given more technology, and we're building a lot of craft that are able to stand up and do it.
You know how we've seen some of these large